Welcome to my YouTube channel, Learn with Meenakshi. Hello people, hope everyone is doing good. In today's video, I'll discuss about classification of commerce. I'll share the link in the description of my previous video to check it out. Let's begin the video. In the previous video, I have discussed about the meaning of commerce. Commerce takes place after the production. So all those activities which includes after the production, it is commerce. It connects the producer and the consumers. Let's see how the activities of commerce is being classified. Commerce is being classified into two categories, trade and aids to trade. It had some further classification. We shall see that also. Trade, it denotes buying, selling, transfer or exchange of goods and services between parties. If you engage in any kind of activity relating to purchasing, selling of goods and services, it is a trading activity. Let's see the further classification of trade. Trade has been classified into internal trade and external trade. Now we know the meaning of trade. It means buying and selling of goods and services. If you are buying the goods and services within the geographical boundaries of your country, then it is internal trade. For example, if I am living in India, if I go for trading activity within my country, India is my home country. So if I do or involved in trading activities within my home country, it is internal trade. Now the external trade is just opposite of internal trade. If trading activities, that is buying and selling of goods and services, go out of your home country, which is the foreign country, then it is external trade. So within home country, it is internal trade. Outside the home country, if you are trading, that is purchasing or selling the goods and services outside your country to the foreign countries, then it is external trade. Internal trade is also known as home trade or domestic trade, whereas external trade is also known as foreign trade. Let's see the further classifications of internal trade and external trade. Internal trade includes two, wholesale trade and retail trade. The person who involved in wholesale trading is known as wholesaler. The person who involved in retail trade is known as retailer. Now let's see the meaning of this. Wholesale trade. If a wholesaler purchases the goods in bulk quantity, in large quantity from the manufacturers, he is doing wholesale trade. If a wholesaler purchases in bulk quantity from the manufacturers and sell them to retailer, he is doing a wholesale trade. Whereas if a retailer is selling the goods in small quantities, directly to the consumer, he is doing a retail trade. So students, keep in mind, if it is a wholesale trade, they usually deal with bulk quantities, and if it is a retail trade, they deal with smaller quantities. Let's see with the example how this trading activity take place, because this trading activity help to connect the producer and the consumer, because producer is producing the goods at a particular location and the consumers are spread across the world. So the wholesaler purchases the products in bulk quantity from the producer, and what does he do? Yes, he sells to the retailer. Now this retailer have purchased the goods from wholesaler in the quantity which is necessary for them. It may be a big quantity or a small quantity. They are purchased, and what they do is they do the business in retailing. They sell the products directly to the consumers, in smaller quantity. As we know, the producer and the consumers cannot meet directly. The wholesaler and the retailer act as a connecting link. So this is a channel of middlemen involved, the wholesaler, retailer, agents, salesmen in trading activities. Students, we have discussed about internal trade. It has two classifications: wholesale trade and retail trade. Let's move on with the external trade. It has three classifications: import trade, export trade, entreport trade. I repeat once more: import, export, entreport. Let's see this classification. If you are purchasing goods from a foreign country to your home country, that is import trade. Import means what? You are getting it, you are buying, you are purchasing. So if you are purchasing goods from a foreign country or from another country to your home country, then it is a import trade. For us, India is a home country, and the other countries, the foreign countries, are host countries. So in simple term, if you are buying goods from host country, you are importing it to your country, then it is import trade. The export trade is just opposite of import. In import, what you have done? You have purchased the goods from another country to your home country, right? But in export trade, what you do is you will be selling the goods from your home country to other country. So you are selling the goods from your country to other country. For example, we can export neem to foreign countries, and so many products we can export to foreign countries. If you are doing a business in a wider scale, then it is a export trade. If purchasing activities involved from another country, it is import. If selling activities involved, if you are selling to another country, then it is export. Let's see the meaning of interport trade. When the goods are imported from foreign country, when goods are imported means what? Yes, purchasing. When goods are purchased from foreign country, from another country to your country, to home country, and that product is being modified. For example, if you are purchasing diamond from Singapore to your home country, Surat. Surat is located in Gujarat, yes. So Surat is well-known place for diamond polishing and cutting in India. So we are purchasing diamonds from Singapore, and we are polishing, we are shaping, we are giving a shape to the diamond. We are modifying the diamond structure, and we are exporting to other countries. What is the meaning of exporting? Yes, selling to other countries. So you are purchasing the product, you are modifying the product, you are giving some other structure to the product, you are adding extra element to that. And what you do is you export, you sell to other countries. This is called interport trade. This is called interport trade. And here we shall see the next classification, aids to trade. Aids to trade. Aids to trade, or we can call it as auxiliaries to trade. So both are similar words. It is classified as banking, insurance, advertising, warehousing, transport and communication. How this trade is being assisted through this way, let's see that. Before students, we shall know the meaning of auxiliaries to trade. auxiliaries or aids is a similar term I said you. It refers to assisting trade, helping trade, which means helping or assisting the trading activity. So far we have seen the classification under aids of trade, aids to trade, 5 classification. They'll be assisting, they'll be helping the trading activity. It is an integral part of commerce. These activities help in removing various hindrances which arises in connection with the production and distribution of goods. Let's see the auxiliaries to trade. The first one is transport and communication. Now we shall see the first part, transport, and we'll move the communication. Normally production take place at one particular place, right? For example, I'm producing shoes. I'll be sitting at Tamil Nadu, for example, right? And the people who are consuming my products will be located at different parts of the country. They may be belonging to Bombay, they may be belonging to Jammu and Kashmir, they may be belonging to Assam, right? So, how am I gonna connect my consumers? How I will be selling the products to my consumers? Yes, it is possible through transport. For example, tea is mainly produced in Assam and cotton in Gujarat. But the consumers are spread across the country. The consumer need these goods for consumption, right? And how can it is possible for the consumer to get this product? It is possible through transport. So there are 4 transport facilities. I have discussed in detail about it in my previous videos. You can check it out. So through means of transportation, the goods are transported from producer place to consumer place for consumption purpose. So now the problem of place is removed by which? Yes, by transportation. There is a problem in place, right? The consumer at different place, the producer is at different place. So this problem is removed by transport. Now tell me, transport is assisting to trade or not? Yes, transport is assisting trade. It removes the problem of place. Similarly, in case of communication, the producer is at one location, the consumer is at one location. There is a chain of middlemen who act as a connecting link between the producer and the consumer. The last link is a retailer who gets all information regarding the consumer taste preferences. Since the retailer is very close to the consumer, he can collect various information regarding the consumer taste preferences, overview of a product. And through telephone, postal services, these middlemen can give the information to the producers. They can exchange it. Yes. So these are the first point. Let's see the next one. Banking. Now how banking will be helpful for trade? Let's see that. There is a person named Ramesh, and that man wants to start a small business. Now the saving in his hand is quite less to begin the business. He approached his friend. His friend name is, let's imagine, Arun. He's approaching his friend Arun for the extra money so that he can put in his business and start the business. Now Arun says, no Ramesh, I don't have money. I couldn't help you. Okay, fine. Now Ramesh again goes to his relative and asks for money. The relative also says, no, I can't help you, Ramesh. Now this man becomes very upset. He approaches the bank now. He approaches the bank. And as we know, the banking helps the businessman. They give credits. They give advances, which means loan facilities to the people, to the public to start the venture business. Yes. So now Ramesh gets the loan from the bank and starts the business. Why the fund is necessary? Money is necessary. Yes, without money, Ramesh couldn't even purchase the assets required for his business, raw materials required for his business. And there are so many expenses to be met for him when he starts a business. So he needs some money. So necessary funds can be obtained by the business people from the bank. Now the bank helps to overcome the problem of money. Am I right? Yes. Ramesh needs money. The problem have been sorted out with the help of bank by giving finance. Let's see the next one. Insurance. Business involves various types of risk. Human life is also a risk, we never know what will happen in our life. And this is a business where we are running it on a large scale. We don't know what may happen in our business. Our building may catch fire, or machinery may get damaged, furniture may get damaged, where we have invested lots of money in that. So buildings, machinery, furniture, etc. of our business must be protected against what? Uncertainties. The uncertainties may be what? We cannot predict. Fire may catch. There may be theft in our business. And some other risk also. There may be a damage during the transportation is possible. So there are so many risks in business involved. How can a businessman cover this risk? To cover your or compensate your risk of life, what do you do? Yes, you take life insurance, health insurance. Similarly, in business also we take insurance. The businessman not only take insurance for building machinery, furnitures, for goods, but also he can take insurance for the employees who are working there, because the employees may also get some injury, may be met by some accident during the work in process in a business when they are dealing with the hazardous product making. So this insurance provides a protection in all such damages, in all such losses. So if I have taken the insurance for building machinery and for my employees, if there is a loss or risk arised due to uncertainties, maybe fire, theft, or so many damages are there, anything can take, right? So how can where do I rush? Yes, I can compensate this risk of loss by asking or claiming my insurance policy from the insurance companies. Students, it is very simple to take an insurance policy by just paying a nominal premium amount, a monthly, quarterly, half-yearly. You pay the premium, and whenever the loss or damage occurs, you can recover it back. It is a way to compensate the losses if you take an insurance. The next point is warehousing. We should know the meaning of warehouse first. Warehouse is a storage house, or we can call as a godown, where the producer store all the products so that he can safeguard it, he can prevent from the losses or damages, right? So I will give a small example. If I'm a producer, students, never mind, I always give an example like I am doing this business, I am a manufacturer, I am a dealer. It's because whenever I teach, I just enter into that concept. So I am a businessman now. What problems can be occur and how should I solve it? I think like that. So I suggest you people also, whenever you read a book or read a topic, get into that feel, get that concept. You are a businessman, you are a dealer. Now what you would do, what all problems would come in your business, how you will solve it. So this is a very important point you should keep in mind. Whenever you read a topic, you just enter into that character, feel that character. So I just always give an example of myself. I do this. Okay, fine. This small tip to you. Fine, the example is, I'm a producer. I do production in large quantity, and I will not expect that whatever I produce today, tomorrow itself will be supplied to my consumers across the country. It is not possible. It takes time. Whenever the consumer demand, I will release my products. Right? So what I'll do is, until that distribution point, I will store in a warehouse. Meanwhile, my goods will be under a safe place. It will be prevented from all the damages and losses. Actually, warehousing helps to solve the problem of storage and make the goods available whenever needed for the consumers. Right. Let's move on with the last point. Advertising. Advertising is the most important element in a business. Why it is important? Yes, to promote the products what you produce. Why we need to promote the products? If I'm a producer who's sitting at England, now I want to do a wide sale. I want to cover a large number of people across the world. How can I do that? How can I attract each individual, each consumer to buy my product? Is it possible to go to their doorstep and knock it out and tell my product has been launched? Please buy it. No. Just through advertisement. I'm gonna communicate the information regarding my new products. The information regarding the price, the product's features. Yes. So advertising is another method which helps a businessman to communicate the new arrival of the product to the consumers easily. And the promotion of the product is a must for the consumer goods, for the durable goods. So we have learned this banking, insurance, advertising, warehousing, transport and communication, how these assist the trade. So in today's video, I have discussed about the classification of commerce. Stay tuned to my channel. Do like, share and subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon so that whenever I post a video, you get the notification. Thanks for watching.